Hey guys, welcome back to Views from the Ale, and what a great experience it was last night to get another win under the lights. Of course, it was the first win in the league this season, but we had that win last week in the League Cup, but obviously it's a little bit different it being in the league. Obviously there was probably some slight concern, the news that McLean and Davis are out injured, and it meant there was some changes to the side, with the likes of Bickerstaff coming into the team, and then Luke Young being restored to the team. I thought was quite well deserved. He's not put a foot wrong, really, I don't think, since he's come back into the team this season. So last night they learned their mistake from the MK Dons game. They were far too open against them, and we sat in a bit more deep, but still creating lots of chances. Which, like even against MK Dons, we did score 3 goals after all, and we could have had more, a bit more clinical finishing. Last night getting 4 goals, arguably said 1 or 2 more towards the end, but I think that is being a little bit harsh. Great to have Boyle, Palmer, Bickerstaff all get their first goals of the season. I mean, before the game I was saying, I've been mentioning about the fact that Wrexham's strikers haven't scored so far this season, so all the goals had come from midfield, and then obviously one from the right wing back the ones from the likes of Mendy and Ford, so you probably need the strikers to produce, and they certainly produced with Palmer with that audacious loop over the keeper, and Bickerstaff getting a well-deserved third goal. I think Palmer's been playing really well since the last couple of games, and he's been putting himself about, using his experience, and it's good to see. Hopefully back to the player he sort of was when he first joined us. It must be 18 months ago now. And Bickerstaff, you're considering that probably Waters and Derby got more experienced. He's certainly pushed himself ahead of those two with his work rate, and he's good at working the channels and using his body to cause problems with the defenders. And I think he's starting, a couple of games in, getting a good partnership with Palmer. Obviously we know that when Mullen does come back, that Muller will go ahead of Bickerstaff, but it does show good signs for Bickerstaff in the future. And in the first half, I was thinking when Bickerstaff was getting to good spots, just take a shot. You might as well do it, because like I said, Mullen is always going to come back into the team ahead of him. So just do whatever you can in the meantime. If you get a bunch of goals, if you're third choice behind Mullen, that's no real problem. You can probably get plenty of games in the respective cups when we might rest players here or there. But a good prospect for Bickerstaff. I don't know whether or not they might send him out on loan. There was mention he might have gone to Oldham before they got Norwood. Might be still something in that in the future, but we'll wait and see. But yeah, I thought the team was really far more compact, a lot better. I mean, obviously we did slip 2 goals, so you could say, well, that's not too good, but we weren't as open as we were against MK Dons. It was much improved. There are some elements to improve upon. I think they did control a bit too much of the play at times. Even in the second half when we were 2-1 up, where they hit the bar, and it was a follow up by the Walsall play, which had a smart save from Foster. If that had gone in, it could have been a different game. But again, that didn't happen, and thankfully it went away in the end. Probably our superior firepower probably would have took us over the line if they had scored that goal. But you never know in terms of when players got their tails up and they've got a bit more confidence in them. It could always change a little bit, but we're always confident Wrexham can get goals. And like I said, another 4 tonight, and Elliot Lee punishing the Walsall defence. It's a bit like when in the Notts County game last season, where they seemed to do a very poor pass and one of the Wrexham player there to pick it up and finish it off. And then we also had Waters almost had his first goal when there was another flash across the goal, and it just didn't go quite in, which is a bit of a shame for him, really. And I think Boyle's looking good in that defence. It was a bit disappointing the first goal we did concede, because it looks like it was a quite well worked corner from Walsall, but the only issue was that we didn't follow the man, and he seemed to be a bit weak on set pieces, which seems to be a regular thing for Wrexham. But again, it is early days, and Parkinson has said that these first early games are almost getting back our fitness. I mean, to be fair, that kind of shows how poor the preseason was. The American tour, while good financially, wasn't really good for the fitness, but hopefully it's not really going to impact us too much over the season, and then they can work on that next year. Maybe start a bit earlier, work on something else, because it is a shame that we're not quite up to fitness. Like I said, Lee and Parkinson mentioned issues getting back up to fitness, but hopefully that's starting to get resolved. I'm hoping on Saturday, I know there probably will be changes. It'd be nice if they kept Palmer and Bickerstaff as the front two, just to keep those two clicking along, because I think they are working on a good partnership. Derby and Waters, well, unfortunately for those two, they're going to have to work hard to try and displace, well, basically Bickerstaff. They're not going to displace Palmer really. I suppose Derby did displace Palmer a little bit towards the end of last season. But yeah, it's a different story at the moment, but wait and see. I know there was some negatives in terms of defensive elements, but overall a much improved performance, and they're slowly getting better and better. I think we will beat Swindon. I know they're one place above us on goal difference, but it's the early stage of the season. It's about getting a rhythm, working on things, and slowly building. And I think we'll be good. I think we'll get there. And who knows? If we were in the playoffs by the end of Saturday, yeah, it's great. But it's 5 games. But then again, it does show we are in the right area. They're moving into the right zones. If we were bottom with no points, it'd be really disappointing. 4 games in, Stockport and Doncaster probably were favoured to do pretty well. Still down there towards the bottom, haven't started to kick on. We'll see what happens in the next few games. I don't expect they'll be down there for long. But let me know what you thought of the game. Are you concerned about any players' injuries? We got McLean and Davis out for a few games. That's a bit bit concerning. And what did you think of the win last night? Of particular favourite goal? Any changes you like? And there are rumours about new players, but nothing as of yet. And what would you like to see come into the club at the moment? Or would you think, let's hold off, let the players come back from injuries and see how we get on maybe to January? Because I was talk about Matty Virtue and Armstrong and Shamanga, all these players. I think they're starting to play for their respective clubs now, so I don't know, I guess we'll see what happens. But yeah, let me know what you thought of the game. Obviously, if you come this far, please subscribe and we'll chat to you soon. Thanks, goodbye.